We're gonna talk about this restaurant life. So let's get into it tonight. It's a blessing as well as strife. So grab your fork and get your knife. Cause there's so much more to this restaurant life. Yeah, there's so much more to this restaurant life. So much more to this restaurant life. Let's go!
Very well.
Yeah? How long you been cooking?
It's 19 years this year.
19 years. Mm-hmm. So you look younger than me. I'm 40.
37 this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you started when you were 17.
Yep. At a pizza place.
At a pizza place?
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Memphis Pizza Cafe in Memphis, Tennessee.
Is that where you're from?
Yep.
Oh, right on.
Originally. Been kind of all over the place.
Yeah. How long you been in Minnesota?
6 years this year.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis. Never been. I want to go. I want to check it
Family's
out.
from Georgia. But yeah, that whole southern thing. And then I had to get out, so I moved to Colorado.
Okay. That's a good place to move to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moved there for school, but yeah.
Oh, right on. For culinary school or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Johnson & Wales University in Denver.
Sweet.
And stayed for 8 years for obvious reasons. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I've been there a couple times, and it's so clean, like the air and crisp, and it's the landscape and everything.
Yep.
You know,
Great food scene.
Great food scene. I haven't enjoyed it, but I've heard a lot about it, and a lot of people that have been there talk highly about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. People that come into our restaurant, which is I think a great compliment. They'll ask if I had cooked in Colorado. Have you been out there? Have you cooked there? Have you experienced it? Because it reminds them of that.
Of Colorado?
Yeah. And just the atmosphere and like the, you know, kind of the bohemian, do it your style, you get it out there and make it your own kind of thing.
Very familiar.
I think Colorado's got that going on.
Yeah. Diversity for sure.
Diversity. And the food scene, right? The food scene, like the art of it will kind of become its own thing, right?
Yeah, it's very edgy.
Yeah.
Like you could be a great chef in one town, then you go to a city like that, Chicago, New York, it's a completely different ball game.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not.
It's more cutthroat.
They're not playing the same game.
No.
You know.
More people are pushing the envelope, you know.
Right.
It's like, are you going to work a 70-hour week? Are you going to work a 60-hour week? Are you going to work an 80-hour week? It depends. How far do you want to push yourself?
Yeah, it's available. Mm-hmm. Can you handle it?
Right. Are you going to crack under the pressure?
Dude, I've seen so many people, not so many people, but I've seen it where they want to do that or they take a job somewhere because, you know, it's for the wrong reasons. They just want to put it on their resume that they've worked somewhere and say that, you know, I think it's for the wrong reasons in that you should want to push yourself. You should want to you should want to do more hours. You should want to improve. But if you're doing it for the wrong reasons and you're just doing that to fit in, that's when people crack. You know?
I would agree with that. I think, you know, there's a culture.
Yeah.
You go to either side of it. I have nothing against people that did it. I have some very close friends that have done it, and I respect the hell out of it. But as far as me, I don't know. It's not that I have anything against authority, but I feel like I'd rather read cookbooks than be, you know, mentally abused.
Yeah.
So it's just not worth it to me.
I think that style too of that militant brigade kitchen,
over.
it's done, right? I mean, that's the
you don't have to be an asshole to achieve like nearly impossible goals. You don't. I mean, I'm a chef that I don't think our food was boring. I don't think it was by any means like over the absolute top, but we also didn't abuse employees.
Right.
We treated them with respect. We made them part of it. You know, it's like.
And I'd argue to say as well, on top of that point is that it's more sustainable that way.
Agreed. You have people that work for you for years, not for weeks or months.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing too that I would notice with people coming in with the wrong intentions. They don't last. They don't make it.
No.
You know. And then the people that are running it with the wrong intentions, their business doesn't last.
Agreed.
They don't make it. You know. I would watch these people come in and they would have an idea about what this is for them instead of having the idea for how they can fit within it and then grow.
Right.
You know, same with the brigade, the chef, you know, or the business owner that's running a restaurant that's never there, that just blames everybody.
Yeah, those are the best, right? I don't know. I think it's becoming more of a culture where if you look at people like Sean Brock, I mean, look at the packages the guy offers. I mean, these, my buddy Zach sent me one recently that was, it was their lab. So you'd be in there like test lab. I'm sure it's long days, but I think it said 40 to 50 hour work weeks, insurance, like a massage package. I mean, it's just mental health is huge.
Mm-hmm. Well, he went through all that.
Of course he did.
You know, like he just, that,
but
yeah.
I think it's important to take that transition, and I have nothing against the French Laundry or like Curtis Duffy at Ever or Grant Hackett's at Alinea. I don't know, it doesn't interest me.
Sure.
The food's beautiful. I've experienced Ever's food personally, and it's one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. But it's just, I don't know. I don't think I'd ever do it again. I don't think I'd ever advise anyone to ever do that again. Yeah,
that's the thing too. Like, are you sure you know what you're getting into when you're doing this? Like that, right. That was the thing that my brother said to me, because he runs Travail, and I
right.
wanted to work there. He's like, are you sure?
It's different.
This is what you want to do.
Different ballgame.
You know, because it's a lot.
And I've never worked at a Michelin-rated restaurant. I mean, I'd say the most intense place I ever worked was Kuhil's with Zach in Denver.
Oh, right on. He was telling me about that place.
Yeah, so I worked there before him. He came in, I think it was 6 months to a year after I started. And he took me under his wing, became my mentor. You know, that's where it all started, really.
Right on.
That's why I'm here in Minnesota.
Right on. That's the connection. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I moved here to work with him at Pescara. And then both him and I were having children. So he went to Harwick, and I went to Charterhouse, which is where I met Luke.
Yeah. Love it.
And then I don't know, I guess I was still hungry, so I wanted to cook more. And went to Fiddlehead and started there with Paul Berglund, you know, from the cities. And then Zach offered me a job at Cameo, and I went there. And I stayed there until, you know, they closed. Was there till the very end. And I don't really want to do restaurants anymore.
Yeah.
Unless it's my own.
Sure. I think
a lot of energy put into something.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And that's kind of that was the vibe of the discussion that I had with Zach about Cameo. You know, like he got to a point where he would walk into the place and be physically upset about everything that was happening.
He didn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah. Right? And dude, that's something that
he didn't need to be. He had me. So, I mean, it's like he had that freedom. And it's like, that's why I was there. Is why would you force a buddy to be like in one of the shittiest, you know, situations he's ever been in his life if he didn't have to be? So, more or less, we just tried to keep him away.
Right.
Sucks.
You got to look out for your boys. And that was
loyalty does pay the bills.
100%.
Just people act like it doesn't.
No, 100%. I'm definitely subscribed to that for sure. Well, and again, back to the sustainability thing.
Yep.
You know, do you want to make it? Do you want to make it for how long? That's the other thing. When I get new cooks or new people coming in, you know, okay, cool. Can you do this? Can you do this for a month? Can you do this for 6 months? Can you do it for a year? And then, you know, because it's not like, can you do it? Let's see it. No, it's like, I want to cultivate you. Right. I want you to be able to have these skills. I want you to handle more.
It's fun to teach.
Yeah, you know, and then after like a year, maybe a year and a half, it's like, okay, I think you're ready for this. I think we're ready to, you know.
For sure.
And that those little steps too, like those little pieces put together, makes me say, on the whole, I think the restaurant's ready to do this because all of our people are taking these steps. I think we can handle
the next step,
the next thing.
Yeah. And it's great to have people around that to cultivate, because then you also get to do things you want to do.
Right. Not only do you get to be in charge, or not be in charge, but be the leader, or be,
Right.
but you also get to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best of both worlds for
I
sure.
think the hardest and best thing I learned over, my short stint of a career for most chefs, but is learning, like, if you want this plate of food on a plate, if you want it how you want it right there on that plate, that's great. But can you have 6 other people, 10 other people, 20 other people do the same thing?
Right.
300 times a night, 200
Right.
times a night, 100 times a night, 50 times a night. Can you do that same plate without touching that plate? That was the hardest and best thing to do, because you have to let go a little bit.
Yeah. Dude,
Like,
right?
Dude, are you searing that scallop right? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Foie gras, that was another one. It's like, still to this day, it's hard for me to trust most people with foie. But it was very difficult to learn how to get the big picture without doing it with your own hands.
Yeah, that's that wizardry. Like you see people doing that. An orchestra, yeah, the maestro, right?
Directing from the front.
Oh man.
Expo.
And it's like, how are you doing this? How are they making this happen?
Right.
It's like, well, you had to let go.
Like the last
trust.
Cameo was nuts, but it was, we get high from that. I think everyone that does this, that still does it, doesn't quit and like run away from it or just decide that it's not good for them. You have to, I don't know, like some type of physical, like stress, anxiety, like you have to like it a little bit, because there's like, we almost get high from it. It's like, if you have a slow night, you're like, what the fuck, I don't like this.
This is not working for me.
You're almost like about to fall, tip over. Oh, but you just made it. You're like, oh my God, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah. You reached out there, you made it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to make this happen and make it work. And then you did it, and you look back and you're like,
Great service.
I love you guys.
That's why we wake up and do it again, right?
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where it's a substitute, I think, for, the evils in the world, like drugs and alcohol, like excess on that.
Absolutely.
It's a great substitute for that. And
We've all been there, right?
absolutely, and you gotta manage those demons, or they'll take over, know, and you gotta start relying on them. Then you start talking to like somebody you don't even know who you are anymore.
Right.
I've seen that happen with many people.
I've been there myself.
Yeah, me too for
And
sure.
I don't know. I just decided to turn it towards food. The last, especially that last year, I pushed myself probably harder than I've ever pushed myself in my career. Didn't really ever doubt myself, but like when you do have doubt, it was like I always wanted to prove myself wrong, so I did.
Yeah.
It was the unattainable became achievable.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And man, we need more of that. Everybody needs to think that, not think that way, but just understand that's how it works, right?
It's just hard to do.
It's so hard.
It is very.
it's very
It's
difficult.
hard to get. I was very fortunate. I had an amazing staff. The team we had, front and back. I'd say that last year. There's people have their days. All of us do. But as a whole, the place was rocking.
When it's clicking, man, it's
like well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Especially that line. Those guys were amazing.
That kitchen was awesome too. Just the setup and the oh my God,
The perfect.
it was
straight down line. It
Yeah,
reminds
dude.
me of the one we had at Cool's. Very similar.
right on. Yeah. But the first time I walked in there, I was like, this is one of the nicest, not only restaurants but kitchens that I've ever seen. The setup, and like, I want to cook it. I want to get back there. And
It was a kitchen-driven restaurant, right?
absolutely.
Not a bar-driven restaurant.
Absolutely.
Bar was great, but
Yeah.
I think it started with food more than anything.
I think that's for most restaurants. That's what I tell people, is that everything's very important,
Right.
but the food is
It has to be.
number one. The food, and then service is right there, but it's underneath it, and then the ambiance. It's all right there. But the food, man, it drives it. The food drives the whole
has to
thing.
be consistent.
It has to be, and because that's what they're coming for, and that's what brings them back, and that's what they talk about, and that's what they bring their friends back and check it out. So if you don't have that, it's not gonna work.
I think that was another hard thing too, is a consistency. As a lot of chefs, you don't want to do the same chicken schnitzel or the same Asian short rib or the same coconut curry over and over again. But they make your restaurant or the restaurant money, so therefore
that's a balancing line. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a
so
balance.
I started to enjoy it. You know, if we sold 20 or 30 schnitzels a night, it's great, man.
Yep.
I mean, we still sold specials always. Like, we never had problems with that. Not once, you know. I can't remember one time. Everybody pushed them. I don't think we ever did anything that was that out of the box anyway.
But it was all technique driven.
Yep, for sure.
And excellent, man. I've had all three of those dishes you're talking about. They're all great.
Okay.
I love the curry.
Yeah.
The short rib was my favorite. That's the one on the last night we ate. That's what I got because that was my favorite.
Okay.
And the schnitzel with the spätzle, the truffle spätzle.
Yep.
Spätzle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I had no idea what spätzle was before I started working at Travail with my brother, and the German guy from Wisconsin was making it for a family meal. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Delicious.
It was awesome. Yeah.
First time I had it was from a German as well. It's fantastic.
They know how to do that shit.
They do. It was on point.
Yeah, man. Speaking of, I went to Germany when I was 20 years old. We had an exchange student in high school, and then I went when I was 20.
All right.
And you know, just the culture. That's what they ate. You know, that's what the sausages, the spätzle, and the beer culture blew me away.
It's it's different for sure.
Of like, you know, you come to my house growing up, my mom was here. You want a rip beer? You know, want some milk juice? And his mom's like, you want a beer?
Yeah.
Just like, you know, that's just that's the culture.
Yep.
Want a beer? Have a beer. Have a beer. And
It's like the daytime thing. Then they switched to wine.
yes.
A lot of people are.
It's just like, but they're not, most of them, what I notice is they're not like raging alcoholics partying. They're just like, it's like a steady drip. You know, it's just like a social.
Because I don't think they're ever taught to, you know, like, why do you have to hide and drink, you know?
Yeah.
Because it was always acceptable.
Right.
I mean, I have one of my best friends in the world is from Germany, and she was explaining to me that the whole family, it's like, when you're like, I think it was 8 years old, you get not a full glass of wine, you know, like ounce pour, but you get a glass of wine with dinner.
Yeah.
You learn how to drink. So I think therefore you don't ever.
You get educated.
Yeah.
Instead
not
of
ignorant.
Instead of sneaking away and going to a bonfire party.
30-pack.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all done that too. I mean, I grew up in the South, man.
But then, I mean, some people can handle that. But some people, if that's their introduction to alcohol,
right?
I mean, that just
like mine, you know, it's like field party.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and then, like when we grew up, we were going out to bonfires and running from the cops when they came, and it was just like this whole big thing, unnecessary thing. You know, like we're gonna hang out and drink anyway. Why do we have to?
Yep. I think that's why some parents, you know, like would not ones that I knew, but I mean, I definitely heard of it. Like, hey, why don't you guys just have, you know, I'll get a 6-pack. You guys can stay at home and we'll drink here.
And be responsible.
Yeah. Not abuse it.
Do you ever like, just talking about alcohol and stuff like in the industry, you know, you get done with your shift, hang out with the boys, have your shift drinks, have your PBRs kind of thing. I always liked, like we would have our own place that we would go after,
of course,
you know, like your spot. And it's that's part of the subculture of being in this industry, I think.
Yeah. The bonding.
Yeah.
You have to.
You know?
It doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't. Like,
at least I haven't seen it.
Like we're in a small town and there's not really a place to go, but we'll all hang out at the bar and just shoot the shit for like an hour after service and talk.
No one does that here in Rochester.
Talk shit and, you know, have a glass of wine. And it's such a great part of like doing what we do.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Bonding. I mean, like, are you gonna stay in, you know, like, think about it, like being in the troops, you know, like on the line with the guys, like, are they gonna stand next to you like through thick and thin? Like, more so if they're close to you and bonded with you, then like, man, you just clock in and out every day.
Right. This is just a job. It's just a paycheck. I don't even like you.
This is the first time I've ever seen it like that. Like in Denver, like you talk about, I remember on Saturday nights, because most of us had Sundays and Mondays, every Saturday we would, you know, start at Euclid Hall, and they had, I think it was $2.50 pints, and they had, you know, I'm a Stone brewery man myself, so they had
right on,
arrogant guy or ale or whatever, Arrogant Bastard Ale, and then they had the the Stone IPA. So we would go there every Saturday and start with a couple of pints. Then they had a killer happy hour for industry people for food. They had bone marrow, they had blood sausage, they had like duck confit poutine.
Dude,
it was amazing,
dude.
So that was always
that's
spot.
like tailored.
Yeah,
To the
then,
end.
yeah, and then we were very spoiled.
Throw some chicken liver mousse in there, and you're
that's some pate.
You're done.
But I mean, it just being part of the like we were spoiled in a different way that most people get, but it still was like it was the boys and the girls. You know, we had women on the line too. Actually, Danica was she was on the line with us at Cool Hills.
Yeah, Zach told me that.
Zach he got promoted to sous chef pretty quickly. And then I was either grill or satay. And when Danica was there, she was always satay fish. So it was like all of us went out. It was like 8-10 people. You got a 10 top. It's like,
dude,
it's another reason we love Euclid Hall. It was all bar seating.
Oh, it's the best.
It's amazing.
It's the best. And, you know, I tell people, like, and there's other things too, but you just don't just get to have that. You know, that's a special thing.
Rochester needs some place like that, like Euclid Hall. Maybe people would go out and build more. They had it. But there's no options. There's nowhere to eat past what's the latest place open?
It's southeastern Minnesota, man. It's weird. It's like different. It's
like
just
10 p.m.
Yeah. And I've had to tailor my restaurant through those other. We close at 8. The kitchen closes at 8 because we're even
smaller town.
Yeah,
of course.
Nobody eats past 8 o'clock. You know,
it's true.
And we're up, we're down, but that's.
There's not a lot of restaurants, I guess, here too.
Yeah,
Needs to be more.
Is
there anything like that in the cities?
There was, it's called Max. It was Max Industry.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still ripping or not, but they would be open till 2 o'clock. You get food till 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
We'd go to Vegas Lounge and sing karaoke.
Okay.
You know, that was another spot we went to.
I haven't hung out much up there. I need to.
They have a few spots, you know, that the industry people. The Moose was another one that was in Northeast, and our crew would hook up with 2 or 3 other restaurants crews, and we would just hang out, sing karaoke, play darts, shoot pool, and just take over the spot, right?
Yep.
And
I remember
it was just like like pirates or just
like taking over the ship.
Yeah, or just
claiming
like,
your spot,
or just
this table's mine.
Seamen at shore leave, you know, coming off the boat, like, all right, we're
ready to play.
Yeah, dude. That's cool. I mean, I talk about that stuff too, where it's, you know, I'm 40 now and I got kids, and like, you know, I'm not doing that really anymore, but I got to do that.
I did too.
You know, so I mean, just to say that I got to experience that and got to be a part of that and really appreciate that time in my life.
I definitely didn't abuse it. Maybe abuse it.
Hey, once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit off a little more than I could chew.
Yeah.
But you learn from that, right?
For sure. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's crazy now to like talking about leaving work and you end up playing pool or throwing darts. Now to do that with your buddy, you're like, let me look at my calendar.
Yeah.
How's 2 Wednesdays from now sound, you know? Kind of thing. It's like
fit you in.
Yeah, it's like Crawl from Bitter and Poor trying to do dinner with him and his wife. And we're just like going over the schedule, and it's like 2 weeks out. You know, Zach, dude's a very busy guy.
Yeah.
It's like he's never like, you know, that far out, but it's like,
dude,
how's 2 days from now?
Just talking with him, I told him this too. I got the same vibe that I got from my mentor, James Winberg, who is business partners and chef owner at Travail.
Okay.
Of just, there's so much going on in that dude's head, and
it never stops,
and so much happening.
I don't think he sleeps.
And so then when he talks, he's such a straight shooter, no bullshit guy. Like it just rings true. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I listen. Like when he talks, he's one of those dudes. Like when they talk, you listen because it means like he's saying it for a reason.
Yeah, he doesn't bullshit.
None at all.
He hasn't. He has no problem telling it like it is.
I love that.
I do too. That's why I'm the same way.
Yeah. I dig that, man.
But sometimes that caused us to, like,
Sure.
'cause he'll be like, hey, and I'll be like, hey, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I think that was one of the best teams I was ever a part of. It's like,
you want to be on that dude's team.
I do.
You know?
I think
like, and then
I do.
And like
did.
like you're saying, he wants you to take that and have that feeling of, I want to do my own thing. You know?
I think he wants me to do my own. I think he's expressed it. Not rushing me to do it, but
but support.
Yeah, he's like, dude, there's gonna come a time. I mean, he's told me many of times. He's been like, you're going to go do your own thing, and it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, man.
And the dude will be the first guy in the door to eat it.
Right.
Like I remember he was one of the first people at Fiddlehead when I took that job. I mean, I would do the same for him. As soon as
Absolutely.
he opens his restaurant, even if I don't even live in Minnesota, I'll come here and eat at his restaurant the first week it's open.
I can't wait to see what he does next.
I can't either.
I'm excited. I'm
hope-
excited for it. Like,
I hope it's
like it was such a shitty situation, and that all that stuff went down, and just talking about it, it's like, you need to get out of here. Like, you can just tell, but the potential and everything that Cameo was that you guys did there, then I told him this too. I go, dude, it was like, I tell people to go to Cameo.
Yeah.
You want the experience, you want good food, this is where you should go eat. I said, go there
I
or come
agree with that.
or come to the Blue Duck. These are the two places that
I would agree with that.
I
I can't, I come eat here.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like this is where it's
Not as much
going
as I'd
down.
like, but-
This is where it's going down. This is the culture. If you like the culture, if you know what's good, this is where you should go.
And I'm not just saying that either because I work there, but
No.
that's part of the reason I took the job. I believed in it.
100%, man.
It's hard to, I think that's why I'm so iffy on my next move is because I'm not certain.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I'm leaning towards that corporate position because I don't know if I have that much faith in
Sure.
an individual like I did them or him, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a different relationship it would be, I guess.
I think it's a good move, though. I tell people this all the time. This industry is always going to be here. There's
Right.
always going to be an opportunity that you don't even know about.
Right.
Making a decision like that of just call it a safe play, but just something that will give you that foundation, something that you can still practice going to work and showing up for yourself and providing and a little security, while you cultivate that next move or have time for that next idea to come in and you go, okay, that's it. That's what I was waiting for. There's the opportunity. There's the person that I want to collaborate with. There's, there's the space that would work perfect for
Right.
this idea and these people. It's like that's kind of, but you have to be in that, working everyday space so you don't lose that muscle,
Yeah. Don't rush into it. And I think the next time I do, if it's not my own, I think I'll be a partner. So that's a lot of time to invest because it's meticulous. If you want to be good, there's a lot that goes into it, right?
There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
And the thing that I always have to juggle is the business end as well as the personalities,
Yeah.
as well as the
Everything.
the culture of the restaurant to the patrons, all those things. It's like, yeah, if those three things don't line up, it's like, yeah, the people like it, but we're not making money. Yeah, this thing looks good, but my crew can't handle pumping that out like you're talking about, consistently making it look good and doing it 300 times a night. Or, this business idea would be great, but we're not prepared yet to do that. But sometimes all that shit lines up,
Right.
and you're like, okay, it's time. We can take this step.
There's a lot that's going to go into the next move for sure. At the end of the day, I'm not saying I don't want to make money. Please don't take that the wrong way, but I don't want to focus solely on numbers. I feel like that's a huge part in people rushing a plate to the window. My experience on Friday in July was not even close to the same experience of like 2 weeks later,
Right.
3 weeks later, 2 months later.
Yeah.
Should be always like if you put a plate of food and you make it, it should always be the same. There's no reason to rush it. If you can't handle the volume, don't
Yeah.
have the volume.
Yeah.
Don't sit so many people. That's so crazy.
That's so
stop
key, man.
being greedy.
That's so key. And we
Not getting a good reputation. That's for sure.
That's a hard lesson to learn and to accept.
I've seen it on both sides.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I've seen it as a cook and I've seen it as a chef. Never seen it as an owner, but I've seen it like seeing the books. I understand why you stack the benches with people. Oh, we need 8 cooks on a Friday night. Why do we need 8 cooks? Oh, because we're going to sit 200 people
Right.
in the span of an hour and a half.
Because you added on a section out there that wasn't there before. And so then we had to get here earlier to prep stuff.
I don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah. It
Ever.
is the greed though, and you're right. You're hitting it right on the head because it's
I
like,
know I am.
well, we did
I've
this,
seen it.
we did this, so we'll do this, and we'll make more, and we'll do this, and then we'll make more.
Yep.
And it's like, at
never
what
enough.
cost?
Never enough.
You're going to burn us out. The food isn't going to be as good, and in the long run, it's not going to be sustainable because it's not the quality isn't going to be there.
I mean, don't you spend more money on training than you would like? Come on, you're burning through cooks every 2 weeks, every month.
Right.
I've seen it. I have seen, especially in Rochester, people. It's never enough for them sometimes.
You know what else? I was thinking about this the other day, man. I think it plays more here because it's very seasonal.
Yeah.
So make hay when you can. That kind of vibe is
Be more creative.
Yes, exactly.
Don't be lazy. Get better ideas. Reach out to people.
Yeah, communicate.
pop-ups.
Communicate. Right.
Seriously,
Yeah.
don't. I'm sorry, man. Like
No.
I'm not. I've never done it myself as an owner, but I have seen owners that can do it. So I know it's possible.
Yep.
Get creative.
Yes.
Like, again, I'm not just saying this because I work there, but look at like Early Bird Hospitality when freaking COVID hit. It's like they got creative.
Yeah.
Constantly doing a pop-up at Thesis or Little Thistle, or like there was balls in motion.
Making it happen. Pivot.
So you can do it without overwhelming your staff constantly. And I think I've been, especially the past 3 years, I've been pretty good about being like, they can't handle it.
Right.
And if it's not respected when I say that, which it usually is because I'm not wrong. You can't add this much and expect it to be okay. So get creative. As me as a chef, instead of asking line guys to fire 50 chicken breasts for a party on the 3rd floor, my dumbass should be firing them 3 hours before service on one side on a sheet tray, and all we have to do is finish them in our glorious Rationale oven.
That's a great example. Yeah, that's it. That's what it is.
I can't blame it on taking the money. I can't blame it on the line. It's my responsibility to make the same thing happen without affecting the line. That's where we as chefs, I guess, as we grow, you learn to adapt,
And take responsibility.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
it's your fault.
That's
It's
it.
your kitchen.
At the end of the day, dude, I have to look myself in the
fucking
mirror
kitchen.
all the time, and so that's on you, bro. That is on you, Matt.
Everything was my fault.
Everything, man.
You can't blame owners. You can't blame cooks.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, that's like a acceptance.
Yeah, it's hard
It's so humbling.
coming to Jesus if
Yeah.
you're a religious man.
I was baptized tonight
yeah.
in the fire.
I got dunked underneath the water. Yeah, but no, it's
Dude, that's what it is, though.
that's true.
It's just that in a nutshell. If you can't accept that, you're not going to make it. You're not going to be able to make those decisions to change and say, okay, man,
No.
I need to put more in. I need to be more prepared. I need to communicate more. I need to, take into account what my crew is going through for what I'm trying to add to that, to this thing, and that's what one of the hangups I get is that, coming from Travail when it first started was just get out of the way, make it happen. If you can't do it, I will. Get out of here. And there's a lot to be said to that because I got a lot done fast, but burnout, alcoholism, not being a team member, not being able to function in the little microcosm community,
It's not what you say, it's how you say it sometimes.
dude,
A lot of the time, I guess.
all the time. What's your tone? Where's that coming from?
You sound like a condescending asshole. Like,
Yeah.
You're not going to get good responses.
You're not. Your results are going to be dismal.
Yep.
No one's going to want to hang out with you. No one's going to want to do what you want them to do. It's not. It's not conducive to the industry. Absolutely not. I would get hung up on that too, man. Because I only started cooking when I was 29. That's when I started, and so I didn't know anything about the culture. And so when somebody would come in, especially somebody of authority that was having a bad day, and just take all the energy out of the room, and I would get upset.
I've been guilty of it.
And be like, why are you doing this? What's your fucking problem?
Yeah.
Dude, we're all here. Why do you get to do that? I don't want to be here while you're doing that. And then it kind of just teaches you what not to do, kind of thing. Or like, what if I ever am in charge, I hope I don't do that. But then you get to be in charge, and I would go back to him and say, hey, I understand why you did that.
Yeah.
I feel these feelings now, this pressure and these expectations that I have for myself and for my restaurant. And sometimes it feels like people are failing me, and it's like, no, that's not what it is. But when it comes up, that's what it feels like. Those emotions and come up, and you got to like sit next to it, kind of deal. Yeah.
I think that's, I would say that was like making me as a chef, was like I constantly seek, like I was seeking approval from my mentor or whoever it would be at the time. But it's like anytime you fail, it's like, like they didn't have to say anything. And if they were just like, sometimes they'd get mad, but if they were like, man, that sucks, you'd be like, fuck, that was almost worse, It
is worse. Disappointment's worse than anger. Absolutely.
Like, man, I let not him, but the whole team down.
Yes. And myself.
Shit.
Dude, that's the thing too. I would, oh my God. You're just drawing up all these old feelings that I have. But like that was the biggest thing. Like, I don't want to be the one that doesn't do their job and then this doesn't work. That was just like terrifying to me, of being the person that didn't show up on time, didn't put enough work in, wasn't prepared, and then everybody's gonna know it. Like, yeah, the chicken wasn't cooked, or whatever, man, wasn't seasoned properly, and you're oh my God, your sauce broke.
I overcooked something.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
Oh, it's so humbling. And it'll teach you fast.
Yeah,
to be
making hollandaise on the fly. Mm-hmm. And I remember recently, like the last week we were open, I was trying to rush it with clarified butter, and I broke it. I was like, oh, fuck, I'll just pour it in and I'll whisk it really fast. And it went, I watched it go. I was just like, it's like, that's my Béarnaise sauce. Thank you. And it's humbling, like you said. You learn from it. Like, I'll never rush. I don't think, even at home, I don't think I'll ever rush it ever again. But you live and you learn. And I think that's the people who stick in this and keep doing it. If you don't learn from it, come on, let's face it, you don't want to be a dishwasher for 25 years. Like, nothing against a dishwasher, but like me as a person. Right. Like, Brandon, push yourself. Don't be that guy. Yeah. Keep going forward. Yeah. So hopefully I get to owner, and I guess that's the max, right? It's, yeah. Eventually. What do you do after that?
That's it, man.
So
it was, I always knew that that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And this is from back in the day too, like working at bars and and having friends in the industry and stuff. I'm like, I want my own place. I want my own business. I just was drawn to that. But I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't know restaurant. I was thought maybe I'd have a bar, because I always threw great parties in college. Like, maybe that could be what I do, and it'd be fun. But then, when working at the restaurant at Travail, I was like, this is it. Okay, I found it. I was 30 years old, I think.
So that's like you had been cooking before 29, but you really just wanted to. Oh, okay.
Never, dude.
Just started cooking at Chevelle.
I literally.
That's cool.
My meals I would make. I could grill chicken on the grill, and do green beans out of a can and a baked potato in the microwave. Like that was I didn't know how to hold a knife. I didn't know how to cut an onion. I didn't know what a sunchoke was. I didn't know what parsnips were, and these in Travail, like they're cooking with amazing ingredients, with amazing technique. And the first 6 months I was there, well, the reason my brother asked me to come is that the Bon Appetit article just come out, and they're going to need help in the front of the house. And he's like, hey man, I just need somebody I can trust, help in the front of the house, and you can help us prep during the day. And so the first 6 months, I literally chopped parsley, chives, and made chips, like parsnip chips, potato chips, carrot chips.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, rutabaga chips for 6 months. That's what I did. And then I was just like, dude, and I was burnt out. I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I left a sales job making a lot more money to come help. And I was moving back to Minnesota anyway. So I was going to start my own business and doing sales and construction and stuff.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'll just help at the restaurant until I get that going. And 6 months in, I'm like, dude, if you guys don't teach me how to cook, I'm out of here. I'm not going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, like I want to, if I'm going to do it, I want to take a step, and you guys got to teach me, because I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm willing, and I want to be a part of it, and I'll put the time in, and yeah. So James taught me how to cook on the dessert station. Heat.
That's great.
Yeah, and just how recipes work, and how to put your mise en place together, to clean your goddamn cooler, to just all the things, right?
Take ownership for your station.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a culture that it really doesn't exist anymore, especially in restaurants where you're based on volume. You come in and all your stuff's prepped for you.
Right.
You aren't prepping your own proteins and your sauce.
Yeah.
And I remember, like at Coo Hills specifically, it's like you owned your station. Mm-hmm. You got in, you did your everything. If you were on fish, you cleaned your fish. If you were on, and you owned that fish. At the end of the night, you wrapped it in plastic. We had a fish file.
Put it on ice.
Threw it in the fish file with ice on top.
Yep.
And then you own the fish file. You clean that twice a week. So it's like, it just doesn't exist anymore. Everyone's like in there. They expect to come in and have like all their shallots and, I'd say the guys at Cameo are pretty amazing. Like they would cut all their own mise en place, which saved me a lot of time as a chef. But it just, I don't feel like that culture is there anymore. You got to get more creative.
Yeah.
As a chef, like how can you achieve that goal by, not expecting the 5 guys on the line to do it? It's prep crew.
Yeah. I mean, those are those options too. You have to weigh that.
Right.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it financially? Is it worth it for their time? Is it worth it that they don't burn out?
That's
can they handle it?
Can't let the people burn out.
Dude, so going from the culture at Travail, that's what we would do. We would show up at 9:00. We would prep everything. We'd have family meal, have our meeting, and we'd open for dinner at 5:00, and we'd do service, and then we would leave at like midnight. That was the day. So that's what I knew. And so when I opened up my restaurant, that's how I tried to run it. And it's like, nope. It's a cultural thing. And it's like, dude, we got to do shifts. We got to do day shifts. We got to do night shifts. I'm gonna be prepping stuff. Yeah. I'm gonna get the line ready, and can't
do it anymore.
It's how it used to be. Like
that's not good for you.
It's not,
right? Not good for your mental state.
It's not sustainable. It's like you could do that for 5 years and then just burn out and be done and be bitter and alone.
Do that for a year and get burnt out. I mean, let's face it. Some people don't even last a week at a Michelin-rated restaurant. And I mean, Some of them might be fragile enough. I don't know how tough their skin would be. I can't speak firsthand, but maybe they never go back to cooking.
Right.
Because of that 1 week.
Just turned them
Why
right
would
off.
you want to be that person? Like, how big is your ego? Like how much of, like, literally, like, how much of a piece of shit are you to make some person who's really just trying to do a good job feel that little? Like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
I don't have any respect for you.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at all. And
I don't respect your food because I don't respect how you achieve it.
yeah.
Fuck your plate of food.
Yeah, that was new to me too. I didn't, because like I said, I had no idea coming in.
Yeah.
And then I would see these things or learn these things. And like, really? That's how they do that? Or when somebody was leaving.
Abuse.
When somebody was leaving, they would like dump a bunch of crap on them and like throw, like that was like a exit hazing thing. I'm like, really? That's what you guys do? That's the industry? And like, yeah, that's how
I
it's.
never hazed people. And I think the worst thing I ever did was joke with a kid. I was like, this kid named Dane. He was like an intern. And it was the end of a shift on a Saturday night. All of us were about to go out. And everyone at the time still smoked cigarettes. So they were going to go smoke a cigarette. And I was like, all right, Dane, we're all out of here, man. This is all on you. And I mean, it was a wreck. It was a Saturday night. And he's like, can I at least have your towels? Because we all got 2 towels. And so we went outside, smoke a cigarette, and then we come back in. You could just see the like, oh, thank God.
Oh, you're
on the
back.
Kid's face, like, oh, you guys don't suck. Thank you. It was a joke. But I think that's the worst thing I ever did anyway. I didn't agree with it. You know, like anything from left-handed spatula to saw a kid digging through a tub of utensils for a lentil peeler.
Yeah. Or go get the pot stretcher.
Jesus Christ, man. It's like there's no lentil peeler. Go back.
That's
like,
not a thing.
No.
I got into it with, there was one dude. So we worked, it was Pick Up My Pizza and Travail, and it was on the same street.
Okay.
And so we'd, borrow equipment and this and that. And the one hothead guy would yell at the new guys if it wasn't perfectly cleaned and put in the right place. And I'm talking about off the handle, in their face, uncomfortable bullshit, right?
Yeah. Unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Yeah.
Just to the nth.
Like a bully.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And so the one time he came and borrowed something and didn't put it back in the right place, I went over there, and I have a little, flair for the acting, dramatic of putting on a performance.
Yeah.
And he was in the basement, and I gave him a dose of his own medicine just so that he could feel it.
Yeah.
And I laid into him hard, and he was like, "Oh man, sorry, man. It's okay." And he just like, because that's what bullies do, right? If they're confronted, and they for the most part they're just like, they don't know what to do because nobody ever does that to him. And the other guy in the room, who knows his character and everything, he's just sitting there going like, "Yes, thank you."
How does it feel?
And then I talked to him afterward, and I go, "Hey, just like this, just normal, like that's a dose of your own medicine, bro. That's what you do to people. That doesn't feel good, does it? Please stop doing that, especially coming over to my restaurant and doing it."
Did he do it anymore?
No.
It sucks to get called out.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
But this is a necessity.
Part of growth, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the same human I was a year ago.
Right?
A lot's happened in a year in my life.
A lot can happen in a year, man.
So, I mean, good and bad, I think I'm not as, I don't know, I lost a little bit of empathy, I guess, a little bit, and that's not good. But
Sure.
I'm not a heartless human being. It's just hard for me to, I used to be like the guy that got taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I'd say. So now I'm a good mix of both, like pretty stern, but very fair.
Yep.
Like I'm never, I can't say never. I've definitely been over the top. I've definitely overreacted many times in my career, but I think at the end of the day, I'm a pretty fair boss. So I think working with people and building that culture, as we keep talking about, it was easier for me than most.
Yeah.
Some people struggle with it.
Dude, I did.
Like, how do I get people to do this? And I used to do the same thing. I'd call my friends in Denver and be like, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
Be like, how are you approaching the situation? Are you doing meetings? Are you pulling people individually? And it's just like, yeah, you can't make someone feel like they're attacked.
Yeah. Because you got to get the information to them. That's the thing. How do you do it? Like, we're talking about tone. We're talking about tact. We're talking about including them in the process.
Yeah.
You know, or are you
like
just,
manipulating.
are you just, they feel like you're talking at them. You know, I mean, that's.
Yeah. Make them part of it.
Right.
And even if it's not their idea, make them think that there was, you know?
Yes. That's
And
the trick.
it's really fucked up, but you more or less have to manipulate the situation sometimes.
Well, that's part of your job.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's a.
There's a line though that I have to draw, you know, like working in some places where I'm a huge person of ethics. Anytime that I've ever like been asked to do something that was unethical, I don't care. You
Yeah.
can fire me. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I know you can't fire me, but I do have the balls to tell you no.
Yeah.
Like, not going to do it. Sorry. And that was sometimes when I felt like, not at Cameo, but like years ago, like at other restaurants where the team couldn't handle it. Mm-hmm. There's a place I worked at in North Carolina, and it's like, you can't put this much on like 4 people. You can't. It's impossible.
I think that usually comes too from people that don't know what they're doing.
They didn't.
Right.
They were, one was a pilot and the other was like investor.
And you hear about
financial
that. You hear
advisor.
about that all the time, right? It's just like you have no idea how this machine works. It's going to break if you do that.
Correct.
Yeah.
My favorites, the people that, you know, like we have 6, oh my God, there's 6 people in my family. I have to cook for so many people. You should see what I do for them. And then they put this plate of food on the, you know, like, and they're like, we should do this in a restaurant for 300 people. I did it for 6. It's like, that's my favorite. So you have no idea what you're talking about. You have no idea how to achieve that goal.
You have no
Like,
frame of reference.
okay, tell me, like, how many mashed potatoes are you going to make?
Yeah.
You just did 2 pounds. How many are you going to do for 250 guests? You don't know. Okay. Like, I mean, I'm not saying mashed potatoes are unachievable, but it's like, it's the people that I've noticed in this industry that are like, I made this at home. You guys should totally do this.
Everybody's got great ideas. Everybody's got.
Yeah, sometimes it's annoying to hear them.
Yeah.
Keep them to yourself.
Yeah.
Advice from a chef. There you go. Like, if you have a great idea about a dish that you've been making for, you know, like the last 2 months after you watch like some like Food Network show,
Right.
possibly, maybe don't do it in the middle of service as he's like bringing you your plate of food.
Right.
Just time and a place.
Dude. That's when stuff like that happens, I have to really hone in on not putting a smile, but like being gentle, being
Yeah.
polite.
I've gotten good at the chuckle. Okay. Because you're not like, you know.
Sounds good. We'll get right on that.
But no, like respective. You
Yes,
know, like I'm
yeah.
not disrespectful with my chuckle.
Yeah, that's tact, right?
Yeah.
Knowing how to handle that situation. We talked
That's
about that.
even
Me and Luke
worse
talked about
as a
that. Like, you know what you need to do? Like, oh my God, here we go. Stop talking.
Yeah.
Please
I
stop
have this
talking.
great idea. Mm-hmm. I have this bar at my house. You guys should do that here at your restaurant. I'll bring the decorations myself. It's like, no.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
should get free drinks now, right?
Yeah, right.
You owe me something. I feel like I didn't ask for your service. I don't know you shit.
Yeah, man. That's something that just you have to walk gently, navigate through that stuff of some people can't handle the truth.
It's hard.
They can't handle like a real conversation
Took me a very long time.
about what is actually happening. You know, they're just living in their own world.
Yeah.
And they have this idea that would be perfect. And they come in like that's all they're thinking about. That's all they're like, well, next time I'm there, I'm gonna lay it on them.
Yep.
And like, dude, I have so much going on and there's so many different moving parts to this thing. And it's just,
It's like, like do this number, you know, like look, do you see the full restaurant? Like,
Yeah.
it's not the time.
Nah. God bless you.
I gotta go.
I gotta go.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Just get a card that says thank you, like for conversations like that.
There you
thank
go.
you for your.
Appreciate
You
it.
said it right next to the menus. Thank you for your feedback.
Right on, man. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you and getting
Yeah.
to know you, man. It's
good.
I really enjoyed our conversation.
Nice to
And,
vent, I guess,
yeah.
more or less. Just talk about it.
Right? I look forward to, seeing what you do next and
Me too.
what's happening and,
I'm a little anxious. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's exciting. at
that
the
is,
same
I was
time.
going to say, that's the fun part.
I have an amazing support team.
Yeah.
Girlfriend, friends, family. I'm not really that worried about it.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon. Take
Yeah,
care.
thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So much more to this restaurant life. So much more to this restaurant life. Let's go!